another STEM challenge this week, and this one is particularly delicious. This week we are going to learn about experiments, controls, and variables, and run an experiment to make the most delicious cookies possible. So let's go ahead and jump right in. The purpose of this experiment is to determine what different ingredients and processes affect cookies and how. So to start with, we need a control. A control is a normal or a baseline experiment so that we know what happens if we don't change anything. What is the normal way that things go? So for this experiment, the control is this recipe, and I'm going to follow it exactly. So here's how the control turned out. This is what a normal control cookie recipe looks like. Now it's time to add some variables. It's really important when you run an experiment to only change one variable at a time. If I add more flour and also change the cooking time and the cookies turn out really, really flat, I won't know if it was because I added more flour or because I changed the cooking time. So we're only going to change variables one at a time, but we are going to try a couple of different variables. You can test whatever you would like, but here is what I decided that I wanted to test. Now, I didn't really want to make that many full batches of dough, so I decided to split some of the batches up so I could test different variables. It's really important when you run an experiment that's complex like this that you plan it ahead of time. And the easiest way to do that is to write it down. So here is what my planning process looked like. The rest of the experiment process was pretty messy and took a long time, so let's fast forward to the results. So as you can see, some of the experiments provided easier to quantify, clearer data than others. If I were to do this experiment again, I would actually focus on cooking time instead of ingredients. I'm curious about how cooking for different lengths of time at different temperatures would affect the cookie dough. So now that you know how to run an experiment, see what you can do with your favorite recipe. If you want to make cookies, you can explore what makes cookies the softest or the fluffiest or the chewiest or the flattest. But it doesn't have to be cookies. It can be anything that you would like. Just remember, set a control, only change one variable at a time, and write down your data. Remember, the difference between science and messing around is writing it down. So have fun, stay curious, and we will see you next week.